Hi guys, Tracy here with another scrapbooking process video. This is actually the first of two process videos that I'm sharing with you guys this week. And this one I actually got started on and forgot to turn on my camera. And so you're going to come in on this one a little bit midway through. I am scrapbooking with the Hip Kit from the month of May, and I also dipped into my stash a little bit for this one. I decided to use a piece of gold polka dotted transparency paper from a previous kit. It might be from the April kit, actually. It was a very recent Hip Kit item, and I decided to use transparency because in my recent scrap chat I had talked about how much I didn't like using it, and so I felt like that was a good enough reason as any to use transparency on this page. So here we are coming in the middle of it. I was filming this while I was doing a live stream with my Patreon supporters. And so there was a lot going on and I was having some technical difficulties. So in the process of all of that, I forgot to turn on my camera that I used to capture to make process videos with. So I have cut out a lot of the chatting that happens in this video because there are long periods of time when I'm basically just talking to the camera. So I cut all of that out just for this process. So this one will be rather short. I have the When in Doubt was from the set of stickers right there on my left, right to the immediate left of me. Those came in the Hip Kit from the month of May, and they are thickers. They're foam black letter phrase stickers, and on the other side there are white stickers, but I'm using the black ones that spell out When in Doubt. And then I went into my own stash and grabbed some Amy Tangerine letter stickers to spell out Sketch It Out. And so my problem that I'm having right here, all of this by the way is on a piece of Pink Fresh Studio paper, that paper that I loved when I shared my kit. If you guys take a look at the Hip Kit for May share video, I mentioned that I love this paper and I really wanted to use it for a background, and so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just placing my title here, and so again, this When in Doubt came on that set of black foam stickers right to my immediate left of the layout. And what I'm thinking here is that because the font here is quite a bit thicker and heavier than the font here on the bottom, it's sort of throwing the whole thing off balance. And so I'm going to go with it anyways because I have to, in order to use When in Doubt. I don't have a font that is close enough to it, so I want to use a font that's obviously different. I don't want to use a font that looks like I was trying to match it but failed at that. So I decided to use this Amy Tangerine font that is very definitely not a match to the When in Doubt. And so to compensate for the fact that this font is quite a bit lighter in weight, what I mean by that is that it's thinner and airier than the When in Doubt. I'm going to compensate for it by adding some airy foam embellishments from that Amy Tangerine letter sticker up at the top. So that's what that asterisk and those two outline hearts are. And then I'm going to put some of the heavier embellishments from the set of thickers that I used to spell out When in Doubt. I didn't actually spell those out. They came in that phrase. To balance off. So basically I'm putting some heavier foam embellishments around the lighter foam letter stickers, and then I'm putting some lighter foam embellishments around the heavier foam phrase stickers. I hope that makes good sense. And I'm struggling a little bit with finding some balance. I really like the look of the star over there by the T, and at this point I know that I don't exactly love it, but it's going to do for now. And this is what I do when I run into trouble with something, is I usually just like to take a bit of a break from it. So even though I'm not really happy with the way that the embellishments are on this, I'm going to just leave it for a little while, knowing full well that you can pull those foam thickers up off of paper fairly easily. So I went into my sequin stash here, and these are sequins that I bought on eBay. I bought them directly from China. Because I was wanting some sequin mixes, and they were all outside of my price range. And so I decided I would buy the individual colors. These were just like $1 or so each pocket on eBay. I bought a whole bunch of them at once. And I never did make sequin mixes out of them, but I sometimes will use, I'm actually glad that I didn't make sequin mixes out of them because it's handy to be able to use them as individual colors like this. So I'm going with a tone-on-tone look. Basically, I am outlining this entire project with a line of sequins, and the sequins will be the colors of those blocks of colors that are on the background paper. So right now I'm just dumping them onto each of those blocks of color just so that I have them all out and I don't have to go reaching for them when I go to glue them. So I want them all picked out ahead of time, and then I'll do all the gluing together. And don't worry, I am cutting out the gluing because it is very, very tedious and took up most of the time of making this layout. I was also broadcasting to my Patreons, as I mentioned, and so we were chatting, and I just took my time with it. But I am going to cut that out. And basically right now I'm looking for a citrusy color green to fill in that last little bar in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm looking for a citrus green color, and then I realized that I had made a mistake and put the wrong color green on the top. I actually have 2 of the bars of that citrusy green, so I decided to grab a different color green. I really love this color, actually. It's my favorite part on the whole layout are these citrus green sequins in these 2 spots, so I'm glad I noticed them and put them on the page. So now I'm going to use my Stampin' Up! Glue pen, which is one of those needle-nosed glue dispenser things. And it has a really, really liquidy glue. I love this glue. It dries really fast and it's quite liquidy, which means that it doesn't clog up in the tip of the dispenser. And so I think I left a little bit of this in, but not too much. So I'm just putting a little dot on the paper and then just dropping my sequin on it. Some people find it helpful to use tweezers for this kind of a process. I personally don't. I find that tweezers kind of get in the way, and I have more dexterity using my own fingernails than I do with tweezers. But if you enjoy and are able to use tweezers, then by all means, that would be a good use for them. There's also a tool that you can get, I believe it might be from We Are Memory Keepers, that just kind of picks stuff up. I think it has a slightly sticky tip that you can pick stuff up with, and that might be another good tool to use for this kind of a project. What I found, especially when I get to those red sequins, which thankfully won't be in this video, but those red ones are really tiny. I found it helpful to just draw out a little line of glue and then just drop the sequins along the line. That was helpful for the smaller sequins. But we're almost done, I promise. I'm not going to include too much of this. I just randomly left a little bit in so I could narrate a couple of little tips about this part. So we're about to jump forward. There we go. I'm all done and waving my hands in triumph, I guess. See how much that adds to that page, because basically this page doesn't have a whole lot going on. So I like whenever I have a page that's going to be quite restrained as far as embellishments goes, I like to do a little something special with it, just so that it doesn't look like I kind of copped out and took the easy route, and also just to give it a little bit more interest. This is a photo of my daughter sketching out a picture of Edward Cullen's, who she had read all of the Twilight books and also watched the Twilight movies. And so my little bit of journaling just over there beside the letter T, I think I cut that out by accident. I actually meant to leave that in. It says Livy sketches Edward Cullen from Twilight. And I am going to move around those stickers quite a bit until I find a way that they feel kind of balanced. I'm going to decide to put all of the stars together and then have, even though there's just stars in one place, I think that that's okay. I like the balance of it when it's like this. And it's not quite balanced, but I'm feeling like it's really, there's something off. So what I'm going to do is I pulled off the photo off of the transparency that I had it matted upon, and I'm going to just mat it with a piece of black cardstock, and this is going to really pull everything together. It looks much, much better with that black mat around it because it allows the photo to hold up a little bit to such bold and long titling. And I'm not quite done because it's still not very balanced. Like those two large ones that I'm pointing to really do catch your eye and pull your eye away from the photo, as one of my viewers pointed out to me as I was scrapbooking this. And so I did agree with that observation. And so I'm still trying to get some more balance. And I do like this a little bit better, but I think that top heart is just a little bit too large. I do want it to be large, but just not quite that large. So I'm just trimming off a little bit of it with my scissors here. The whole way around, just like that. And now I like that. I like that. I think that heart up there provides some balance with the size of the star that's kind of opposite, diagonally opposite it. And then I've got smaller hearts in the other two opposite diagonal corners to each other. So this is a very square, very symmetrical kind of a layout. So I did want to have balance with my embellishments. And so now I'm just gesturing there that I'm not going to be right back. That's just written there from before. I'm going to sprinkle some gray I was going to sprinkle some Mr. Huey's. Yes, it is Mr. Huey's, which is a Studio Calico mist that I sometimes use. And this silver is going to have a metallic finish when it dries. It's going to splatter as gray, but as it dries, the silver finish of it will kind of come out. And so yeah, I am combining gold and silver on one page, and not everybody likes that look, but I quite like it. I really enjoy silver and gold together. So I thought about splattering black, but I didn't feel like I wanted to. I don't know. I really just, I didn't have a good reason to not splatter black, but I just wanted something a little bit more subtle than black. I guess I wanted the words and the stars and hearts to really stand out. And so splattering a lighter color helps them to really stand out. So here are the close-ups of this one. I also have some photos at the very end, but I wanted to share this process with you guys, even though it is a little bit of a different page than what I usually do. I did want to show how I ended up using this paper because I did speak about it in quite a bit of detail in my kit share video. And so I just wanted to follow up and let you guys know what I did with it. I love how those sequins look, just very subtle, the tone on tone. And I thought about sewing over them. And what I would have done if I sewed over them was, and this would have taken a lot of work, which is kind of sort of why I didn't do it, but also I was worried about splitting the sequins. But I was going to sew in green over the green part and in pink over the pink part. That would have really involved changing the thread in my machine a lot of different times. And but I think that would have given a really pretty finish. But I do like it just with the sequins glued on. I think that looks quite nice as well. If I didn't think it looked nice, then I would have sewn onto it. But I do really like it like this as well. So we're going to leave it as it is. And I did have to use a piece of paper towel to get some of the Mr. Huey's off of my foam stickers because I didn't want any of that silver residue. You can see some there in that photo. I missed a little bit on that heart. I'll have to go back with a wet wipe and with a baby wipe and get that off. But there you go. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this process. There will be another process video coming to my channel probably tomorrow or maybe the next day. It's all ready to go. I just have to post it and get it all up for you guys. So take care and have a really great scrappy week. Oh, I thought I would also mention that the layout that is coming tomorrow or the next day is very, very, very different from this one. I would say it's probably design-wise the exact opposite of this one. So keep an eye out for that on my channel and have a really great scrappy week.